what time is it? Your show. Yeah, what time is it? Your show. Yeah, what time is it? Your show. Yeah, he's back from the dead. Your show. Putting it on the map, yeah. Saskatoon. Right next to New York. New York. Yeah, what show, yeah. Your show. What time is it? Your show. Yeah, time to talk some shit, yeah. Your show.
You've tuned in, yeah.
Yeah, fun Maggie. Bark, bark, wolf, wolf, who wants a treat, yeah. Keep listening.
Hello and welcome to the Tuesday edition of your show. My name is Gary. So happy to have you here on Still As Far As We Know, the only show that goes live from 4 to 5 p.m. Monday to Friday on YouTube, located in Saskatoon in a very super secret location, which happens to be very close to my house. Also, we are the #1 ranked podcast that features like 10 different people that rotate in and out, and a lot of them have some nice hair. We're always trying to get into those, niche markets, and #1 in all of them, because I'm pretty sure we're the first ones to do it. On this show today, we got a bunch to get to, as it's a very packed show. But before any of that, the reason everyone's here, the only reason for a lot of people, because they just love her so incredibly much. It is time yet again to check in on the Maggie Cam. Let's see what we're looking at today. As I hide my feet, because they are gross. Look at that puppy. Oh, she looks tired. She was playing today with her friends Jake and Henry and Rascal. So she was running around, so she's pretty pooped, as you can tell. The Maggie Cam for our incredible friends over at Pet Planet on 8th Street, your pet's natural grocer. Mike and Rochelle, along with Maggie's boyfriend Leroy, always there to make your day better. They have everything you need for your pet. If you go after hours or on the weekends, you'll see Kirsten, Shar, or Chris, and they will also continue to bring all the amazingness that is Pet Planet on 8th Street. Again, everything you need for your pet is there as well. You will never leave that place sad. They always cheer you up, and it's always a great time. All the treats and the outfits, it's just so cool. Maggie's going to go shopping here again. I think we're going for a toy on Thursday, as we're going to record another Adventures with Maggie video, which we always love to do, because honestly, who does not want to see this girl in action? She is just such a beautiful, beautiful puppy, as she may or may not lay down for a little nap before supper time. She always knows once the show is done, straight outside for supper. So you earned it today, Marge. Very well done. Thank you. Hi. Hi. You look good. So here's what's going on as we get into the Tuesday edition. We have Uncle Mike and his all-natural products hanging out, as well as Matt from all the bands. We just recorded episode, I believe, 9 or 10 of the All Out of Inks podcast, and we will check in with those boys. But first, we have another thing, music-related. And we did a previously recorded segment earlier today, and we're going to raise some awareness on something really, really cool that's going on in the city. So let's go ahead and run that one, boys. So around here at the Dufferin Avenue Media Network, we are always looking to help out not just businesses and organizations, but also people and movements. And one thing that's been missing for a long time lately is music that's accessible to everyone, and music that even old people can go and enjoy and then get back home to bed before 10 p.m. And I got a couple people here who know exactly how to do that. Ladies and gentlemen, these are my friends, Corey and Saul. They have something very exciting that we are so happy to announce. Why don't you hop in there and take it away, handsome, with your beautiful work shirt.
There,
Get in there, though.
Corey,
Don't
bring that mic in. You're on a
mic,
podcast, boy.
See, Saul gets it.
Come on.
That's why he should have been in the middle.
You did say, do you want to
Corey,
go there?
You can adjust it.
There it is. Make it your own.
Very professional.
Very
There you go,
professional.
buddy. So tell us, what the heck is going on? This is very exciting.
Well, yeah, thanks for that, Gary. We are actually super excited about this new project that we have started. Bloom Entertainment is our name.
There it
and
is.
We are starting our first music series at 3 Hall.
Yes.
The old Hose and Hydrant just off Broadway.
Beautiful place.
Bringing music back to Broadway, baby.
And that's a great saying. I hope we keep that going, because you remember back in the day when that's all we'd do? It's like, what are you doing? Oh, no, it's going to Broadway.
Yeah,
You
you
spend
can
the
always
night there.
find
Yeah.
something to do,
And
some music to listen to,
And that's
videos.
sort of died out a little bit, right?
We feel that way, and obviously COVID had a lot to do with that, and just the way things are. But we're bringing it back, and we're doing it every Friday and Saturday night. Like you said, 6 to 9
The
early, so you
perfect
can
time
go.
for us old people. I
Right?
love it.
You know, go have dinner. Three Hall's got a great food menu. Saul and I had the burgers the other day, and they're delicious.
Of course.
And you know, but our focus for Saul and I, we really want to focus on the musicians and the artists, and give them more of a platform to, you know, with you on this, you know, artists are going to be coming in
That's
here.
the plan, yeah.
You know, our new media sponsor officially, which
Very pumped.
we're super excited about that. But you know, given we understand the challenges for artists sometimes to promote their own stuff, and not necessarily having the avenue to do it, or it's not as easy for some as it is for others too. So
I spent most of my career over at the other place trying, and I've said this a million times on the show, just trying to get all of my friends that are in bands some exposure, some opportunity for new ears to hear them and at least give them a chance to gain some traction. And it's so hard because on the big radio stations, they don't really have the time, you know, to bring in local musicians. And I will say my buddy Ugly Kid Joel with Hometown Rock, who I'm also trying to get involved with all this stuff, he's the only guy I know that's really pushing local music. And I told him anything we can do to help out, that's what we're going to do. I want to make this place a megaphone for local musicians to show everyone what they got, and then hopefully it'll, you know, entice them to come and hang out over at 3 Hall and have all the fun with us.
that's right, and that's why this partnership works so well. When we first chatted about it, we were both, you know, we got goosebumps thinking about it.
It's crazy.
Because, you know, you've always been such a great local supporter, and you've been in the industry for many years, and you see, you know, just what you said and what you alluded to there. And, you know, Saul can add in on this too. Saul being a musician in the city, and he knows firsthand.
Absolutely.
You know, I'm a pretend musician. He's a real musician. But you know, we love this opportunity at 3 Hall. We love that they're very open to this too, and supporting musicians in the city. And there's so much talent in the city.
That's the big one.
Crazy.
That's the big one, and that's what makes us so exciting. So Saul, maybe tell us a little bit about the opportunity that this presents for fellow musicians in the city here.
Yeah, so there's a couple things to say about it. First is like just creating the opportunity for a sense of community in the music community, because for a while we haven't had really a place to gather consistently. That part of our city has kind of fallen off since COVID, realistically, and we haven't gotten that momentum back. And Corey and I have been involved in different versions of weekly things happening, but we just really wanted to create something where everybody felt at home, everybody felt comfortable, whether they were on the stage playing or whether they were sitting in the audience gaining inspiration, whatever it is, right? So that's one big part of this that we wanted to cultivate, is just the community aspect and bring everybody together. But yeah, it's a super stagnant industry for a reason, because it's not like after COVID we've had an influx of more people going to concerts. We've actually had less, right? And so it's not like the industry is gaining more income. So the people who are part of it don't have the incentive to make change, because they're like, well, we can't afford to invest and change it and do this stuff. So that's where Corey and I are coming in, and we're trying to think of this differently, and we're trying to create movement and growth in an industry that wants to stay stagnant. And we want to work with businesses and people and create experiences that are meaningful and impactful and aren't just worried about, you know, can we make money or not. We want to come at it from the perspective of creating community and bringing musicians together.
See, I love that. That's like we said before, it's so similar to what we're trying to do here as a whole, is just giving a chance to people that are already going against the grain and are already struggling to try to do this.
Yeah.
And the more people we can get behind it, the better off we'll all be. Because honestly, every single time you sit around live music, your life just gets better. It just makes everything better. It could be the worst music in the world, but it's still someone's performing and putting their art out there. And there's always something you can take away from it.
So true.
And it's always going to be a positive thing. So we are so grateful and thankful to be on board with this thing. As we say it here all the time, we want to help organizations. We want to help movements. We want to make the world a better place, because it gets real rough out there and everyone's having a tough time. And this is one of those things that can make it better. So it's very cool to be a part of it. And we got a band coming in, I believe, tomorrow.
Yes, Buddy Bench, who's playing on Saturday.
That's right.
I'm always
Thank
off
you,
the mic.
Saul. I love that.
Saul,
I
can you-
love that. You can always spot the musicians. It's great.
And sound guy too.
Yes,
Sound tech as well.
everything. You
The
betcha.
whole, the everything, man.
That's right.
But yes, Buddy Bench, Chris, and Rodrigo, who are in the Steadies, they also have their own little duo going on.
Super cool.
They're coming in Saturday, but they're coming in to talk to you tomorrow. They're going to be the first of a series of bands that are going to come in and talk to you and again, like
exciting.
get to know what they're about, what they're doing, what's up, what their plans are, what their albums that are coming out, what they're up to, you know.
It's not just promoting this event, it's promoting the bands as a whole. 'Cause it's a great opportunity to get all that information out there. And then maybe you hear something that you like and say, oh, I might be into that. And then off you go.
1,000,000%.
So this is great. So give us all the info for the weekend.
Friday night is our first open mic that we're doing. So again, it's 6 to 9. We have kind of it's looking like a good, like a lineup that we're getting. Not so much open mic. It's
Yeah, it's
I've
sort of like
got
a show.
Yeah, like it is an open mic and it's going to be that. And we want anybody and everybody that is interested in playing and getting up, obviously message me or Saul at our Bloom account on Instagram, Bloom Entertainment YXE. A couple underscores in there, but you'll find it.
Perfect.
But yeah, so this Friday, I actually overbooked it a little bit because it's our first one, and there's just an awesome lineup of local musicians that are in different bands that are really interested in getting out and doing some solo stuff, some work on some of their personal stuff that they've written and work on their craft. So.
And it's really looking like a solo acoustic singer-songwriter night almost more than an open mic.
And when I wrote down the schedule yesterday and sent it out, I was like,
Just
they're all
organic.
solo.
Yeah.
I
It's
didn't
organic
plan
stuff.
on that.
Nope.
But
Yeah.
And again, that's not what it's going to be as a whole. That's just for the first night.
just
And that's
worked
the
out that
beauty,
way.
and that's sort of what I noticed with this place when we first started. You have this idea, and then it just grows and grows and grows.
Yes.
So
That's right.
the first one will be like that, and then the next one might be all like full band.
Well, and we have one. It's gonna Saskatoon Legends Night. So we have Jay Semko
very
coming in,
pumped for
Earl
this.
Pereira coming in, Leah Hansen coming in. So
Love Leah.
we're getting really good feedback from the musicians. We really wanted to, like we've talked about, build this around the musicians and the artists. They are number one. They're the ones that drive this for us, and the ones that should drive this. And I had a message from one of my buddies this morning. He's like, I just wrote a song this morning. He's playing in the Friday open mic. He's like, I wrote a song this morning, and how cool it is that I can go practice that at your open mic on Friday. And this is a well-established dude in music, in bands. But for him to be able to go and work on that, you can't do that really anywhere else.
Reps. I say it all the time around here. It's all about reps.
Yes.
And I look back at the first 2 months of shows that we've done, the live shows, Monday to Friday, 4 to 5 p.m. The first 2 months of absolute garbage. But the reps and the things we learn from doing those things, it's invaluable. You can't simulate that anywhere else. You have to just get out and do it. And this is exactly what that is. And this is going to hone everyone and sort of dial in. And I feel like the city will benefit so much from the music that's going to keep getting better because of this.
Absolutely.
If we lived in a bigger city, it might be easier to find more opportunities to perform, right?
Yeah.
Just because it's
So
bigger, you can go to the edge of it, right? But we live in a small city, and it's like something that's really important for me as an artist is having consistency and the feeling of professionalism. So coming on a podcast as a musician, it's just another opportunity to talk about your art form and playing a show that, even if it's an acoustic open mic, even if it's 20-minute slots, if you don't have to do all the booking or you don't have to like get people in, it's just more opportunities to feel like a professional.
Absolutely.
And I think that's a huge part of the Bloom thing, is like we want to provide musicians opportunities to continue to feel like their craft is being pushed forward. Because I know how that feels as an artist when it's like, oh, I haven't played a show in a while.
Yeah.
I haven't gotten out and done my thing. And I know so many talented people who have maybe not found the time, after COVID, they haven't found the time to find their way back to music. So this is also kind of an opportunity for that, for like a low pressure thing where those people can come back and flush out their stuff. And maybe this sparks something, this community and being around everything sparks something in them. And then they go, okay, I need to, what's the next thing? What's the next thing? So it's all about that.
I love that.
And with musicians too, like some, like in anything, they're not necessarily good at promoting themselves or getting recording themselves.
Yes.
They don't have anybody to do that. So we're also doing that too. We're going to be every open mic, every artist that goes up, we're recording 1 minute clip of their performance, and we're going to be posting and sharing on their walls.
Give people a taste of what's happening.
And then, yeah, right. And you know, that's a huge thing for us because
Yes.
to support the musicians in that
Yes,
way.
because I obviously I have a media background, and so I've spent a lot of time with that aspect of my art form, and I've gone hard at times, I've fallen off at other times, so I completely understand it, and that's something that I've always felt a huge passion to help artists with the marketing aspect of it, and I feel like that's why we're super lucky and super grateful to get to work with you, Gary, because this is just adding to the world building of Bloom Entertainment and how you're going to have these deeper conversations that these artists aren't probably not getting to have outside of this. Yeah. So giving them that opportunity to talk about their passion in that way. So we're super excited to be working with you, Gary.
Pulling people out of that stagnant sort of zone that you get in. It's so easy to get sucked into that, and it's so hard to get out of it.
Yeah.
So every one of these little things that we do is just going to push it forward and build that opportunity to get out and actually build your confidence in yourself and know, hey, you belong up there. And, you know, it all goes from there. It's all about positivity, man. And it's so simple, but it's so hard to implement into our lives. So
on our own, especially.
Exactly.
Right? Yeah.
So to be able to do something like this, we're so honored and so happy. Again, Bloom Entertainment, they have arrived and they're doing great things. My buddy Saul, my buddy Corey, thank you so much, you guys. And we look very forward to this crazy adventure we're about to go on.
Let's party.
Love those guys. Again, Bloom Entertainment getting set for this big series that they are about to roll out for us and bring a music scene back to Saskatoon. And I think we can all agree it's been very hard to find any sort of place where we can all get together and enjoy music like that. So, so happy to be on board with all of that. And to Kinger and to Saul the singer, thank you again for stopping by, and looking very forward to our first band coming in tomorrow as we get you ready for the weekend. This is your show, the Tuesday edition, and that means the boys are in the house. One man you know from all of his all-natural products. The other man you know from all of his bands. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Uncle Mike and Matt from the band.
Hey!
Woo!
Yo!
Yes.
What an intro.
Woo! Getting better.
I
Talked
can
about
tell
reps.
ya.
We just talked about reps with the boys.
That's right.
So important to get those reps in, and I feel like they're starting to pay off now. We're getting a lot of those introductions that are really, really popping off the screen. So I appreciate that. How are you guys doing today? You feeling good? Looking good?
Yeah, I'm
Feeling
doing a lot
good.
better since I've been in this studio,
That's it.
and I was doing good before.
Not that he
just
was
doing
doing
better.
bad.
Just doing even
You're
better.
also doing good?
Doing well.
I love to
complain.
hear that. So the boys come in here every Tuesday before we go live here on your show, and we record a little thing called the All Out of Angst podcast, and it is always so much fun when we do that. And today we were sort of talking about music yet again, about this song that we're writing, and well, reps. Like, I can't stress it enough. The importance of being able to go live and the importance of getting your reps in. I used the analogy before about when we were at the Ganbate anime convention. Check this out. That's where I got this adult dragon. Look at how long he is. Hey, he's a beautiful dragon. And while we were there, we spoke at a panel. And by we, I mean Uncle Brando and Network Ryan. And we had a young man there with his mom who was looking to get into voice acting. And I let the CCO boys talk for a while, and then they sort of threw it over to me, and I was sort of at the side of the stage. And I basically talked about if you really want to give it a try and you want to get good at speaking, be it in front of a camera, in front of people, or whatever it is, just never say no to doing anything live. Live, there was a comparison. I forget what it was. I think it was a music comparison. I think we're going to talk about it. Yes,
one?
thank
Yeah.
you. Yes, the importance, was it 50?
That 1 hour
There
on
it is.
stage
There it is.
equals 20, hours of practicing in
Which
your room,
is
which
so
was just
true.
an arbitrary
And it's
number that he picked.
So true. And this whole thing going on at 3 Hall is going to be just that for all of these musicians, to get that live action in and to be in front of a crowd and to be interactive and all those cool things. So we're very, very excited for that. I also just got a text from our good friend Deb over at the Saskatoon Food Bank and Learning Center. And she has just booked us in to do an MC gig over at the warehouse there at the food bank on September 19th. So to Deb, thank you very much for reaching out, and we will be there with bells on. And it's going to be a fun one because we go from that one, MCing at the warehouse, and then run over to Prairie Land for the Fall Feast right after, which is going on as well. And do not forget, September 19th, elmwoodyxe.ca is where you get your tickets. And it's so important, and it's so fun. You get to go there, you get to eat, and you get to basically bask in all of the positivity that comes with fundraising. And when it's adults with disabilities, man, it's like a whole nother level of just happiness. You know what I mean? And when you're there and you see all the good things, there she is. Look, she loves Elmwood. We take her in there every now and then, and she knows what's up. And just to be around that, man, is so much fun. So I will be getting there a little late this year, as I will be over at the food bank event first. But so excited to raise more money for Auntie Susie and all of her pals to get around town and just help with the transportation. I talked to our other Maggie Stevenson, earlier today, and she's going to be in tomorrow, and we're going to record some interviews as well. She is the communications person with Elmwood, and so we're going to get everyone all set to go for the Big Fall Feast, as it's one of our Big Four events that we love to help out and be a part of. So I'm very excited for that. Like every time you guys come in here, it's like positive aura. I'm trying to not use the word vibe anymore because I think it's so stupid.
Well, I knew you hated that.
And sometimes it sneaks up and I can't think of aura quick enough, but I got it that time. No.
We just
Energy.
start making a list of different,
Have you guys ever had a
Not to
look at my
say.
lists? So these are all things that I write down here. And I don't think any of them have ever been used. Just
Don't
write stuff
do
down.
what Johnny Don't does. Okay, I like what you're doing here. He's reading the cards.
Ron Burgundy it, eh? Just like, okay, now look at camera and say funny thing. Ron Burgundy.
There you go. Read exactly what's on the prompter.
That's the one. It's at San Diego. I believe it means whale's vagina.
Yes.
God, I love that movie.
San Diego.
Hey, was that Anchorman?
Mm-hmm.
So good. Ron Burgundy, everybody. So yeah, the point is that there's so many little notes on here, and I never look at them. But it looks cool. Like I love how Royal Anders printed these off. He's got all the
they look
info
great.
on the back, so I
And
look like
just
I'm important.
like organizing them is a very therapeutic
yeah,
too.
it's one of those
Like a
comforting.
reset, you know?
I think
he
you
gets
should.
it.
Who was that? Was that Letterman or was that?
Throw 'em out, yeah.
He's-
Was that the
he
top
tossed
10?
The cards? Yeah. I
They do
think
the top
so,
10
yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could start throwing these, but LB's in the studio today, as well as we got Dragon Jr. We got the double dragon, you guys.
Oh man, How did we
Billy
not
and
think of that
Jimmy.
earlier?
Here we go. I didn't even think of that till right now.
I want to
That's amazing.
re-experience that soundtrack. I feel like they had some bangers on
Oh,
that one. I know
dude,
that was a great.
The list keeps growing of all of the songs that Coach Mazer wants us to get you to mattify.
I need
if
to
you will.
up my game.
Well, we need
Not
to.
doing
we
anything
need
tomorrow.
To,
We can
that could be it. We need to start implementing it more because eventually we want to get this camera that's up top here that we use for right now. We're using it for Matt Young and his controller fixing series that we're doing, which is
Right.
super cool. On Thursday, he'll be back for another
Yeah, I've
edition
seen
of
a
that.
few. Those are really
It's
cool.
awesome, man.
Yeah.
It's especially when we're like the old guys that are sort of all of our video games and systems are aging out. Like he just literally, it's like 5 minutes of stuff, just a couple screws here, and then wipe this, clean that, and you have a brand new controller. It's so cool. So this Thursday we'll have another one, but we use this for the first time, and it's so cool to have that top-down ability. And then eventually, the Commander Cookout Podcast Sidewalk Slam Season 2 will be going down here, and that will be the star of the show as we try to figure out how to implement this. We want to get a little something to lower it, so we can shoot it straight on this green screen, so we could have it every show be like the 100th extravaganza with the walk-ups and the green screen. It's super,
Oh, yeah,
very
that
cool. This
green
adds another dimension to it. So, and this is exactly what we wanted when we first started this whole thing. We wanted to have a set that can transform. I always say it's the Transformer set. It's like, and all of a sudden it's like this now. And we can turn it all these different ways. And we have the accessibility for, again, our people from Elmwood and Cosmo who are going to come through here with their tours. We can pop them right up and hang out. It's going to be so neat to just have that extra sort of welcome for everyone.
Well, yeah, and then the energy that you get when you
Yeah,
fill this
man.
place, even on the 100th episode.
so fun when
you,
there's a
you
live
could
audience.
you could feel the
Yeah.
energy, and it was awesome.
It jumps off the screen, and I eventually I want that to be a thing, and maybe that's something we do with our Patreon. As we've now hit the Patreon, it's still a soft release. We announced it on the 100th episode, but we're still sort of working out the details. But if anyone ever wants to sort of join the movement here with us as we try to make the world a better place, you head over to Patreon and you find us there. I believe LB might even have a thing with the address on it. I'm not sure. We'll see if he's in there. If he wants to hit it. He doesn't have it?
No.
Oh, you had it the one time, though, hey? Just deleted it? Classic.
Now it just looks like I don't know what I'm doing.
Let's throw something up. Hey, Dufferin Ave, give me one of these. Let's serve something. Oh, you're up too high. You're up too high. I want to go like right here. There it is. Oh, I had it. Look at that. DufferinAve.com, the place to go for everything except the Patreon stuff, because the Patreon's a little bit different. But the way we have it set up right now is I believe it's $5 a month, and you get all of these benefits. And one of the things, and why I brought it up, is becoming a part of the live studio audience. If you want to bring the kids in here, or you want to, have a little excursion, maybe a little date night, or a date date sounds good. We can set this up, and we can start bringing in a full live studio audience for each and every show. And then part of your being a part of the team is coming here and not only being around the show, but even talking with us as the show goes on, because we do a lot of that around here. I don't know if anyone's noticed.
it's fun.
But if anyone's here, they're a part of the show, and that's what makes it so special. I was just going to take a sip now.
I was just thinking about like the interaction and how I always getting corrected by.
Oh yeah, the top 10
Fact checker.
Well, he caught me today when I was talking about Sean Drover being from Atlanta, and then I was like, no, it's from Georgia, and then he's in there saying it is Atlanta, Georgia. It was Alabama. That's where he's from.
And then I started to sing, I'm in a hurry to get things done.
Oh, man.
Great song.
Great song.
Yeah, we always say around here, I'm pretty sure LB is actually a secret agent. Like, I'm pretty sure he's like a Canadian James Bond, because he's the only 18-year-old kid that I know that is learning how to fly airplanes, also learning how to scuba dive, and singing lead, by the way, in a lot of these songs with the Fireside Singers. Again, get your tickets now, as we got the Christmas show coming up very soon, and we're all going to be there heckling LB hard when he's on stage. Maybe we'll throw some stuff at him. We'll throw some tomatoes, something Christmassy. Throw some like candy canes at him. See if we can throw him off.
Get some sprigs of holly.
Take an eye out or
Find
something.
Throw some mistletoe at him, then just jump up and start giving little kisses. Something fun. Anyway, I'm not sure what it's going to be, but we are all about the Fireside Singing. Him and my good friend Megan, who we love so much, and everyone there. Like, it's such a cool thing, and I've always been meaning to get out, and this time we're going to make an actual excursion, which will be very, very cool. You ready for a reset? You want to try a reset?
Okay, so we're here at your show. It's Tuesday. We're with the boys at the All Out of Angst podcast, and we are just talking about all things music and all things Saskatoon. So, Gary,
Wow.
I don't know. That's all I got.
Amazing.
That was good, man. You almost had it. You were about to throw it to me.
I was close.
I was such a big fan of the show. So happy to be here. I just feel like every time we get together, magical things always happen. So that's very good.
Oh.
Did we get confirmation on Belvedere being here?
They were here.
They were
That-
here.
that was for sure.
Yeah, that
Yep.
was Punks
They
for
were,
Pop.
here. That was
Did-
last weekend.
Did
Or 2
anybody?
weekends ago.
Do we know anyone that was there?
Last weekend.
I do not. Just that the guy that put it on, Derek.
Yeah.
I know. But
Okay.
yeah, because I was at the Cosmo Civic Center,
Yeah. Yeah.
on just off Broadway.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, senior center
it's
or whatever. Yeah.
literally right behind Three
Right.
Hall.
There you go.
But yeah,
right next door. Yeah.
I've been seeing all the stuff. It sounded like it was a good inaugural one, and they were able to donate $1,000 to their
amazing.
charity.
But just the fact that, and that was a band that I played around the fire. We talked about passing the phone around and how cool that is. When you're around the fire, Belvedere was one of the ones that I played like 4 or 5 songs off that one album. And it's so good. And I've always wanted to see them. And then that was our one chance. And it turns out that I was working all day at the Gunbate event, I believe it was. So I wouldn't have got to go anyway, which is very upsetting for me.
Right.
But missing a band that you really want to see, God, that hurts, eh?
It does. It does.
It really hurts.
Especially when it's for no real good reason other than I just don't
Just
feel
being
like,
lazy,
you know,
which is
it's
usually
like-
the one that it
right,
is.
for sure. That's usually. I mean, I know, especially for me, it's like I don't have usually. My social calendar is usually pretty slim.
Yeah.
I think, and I like to keep it that way.
Absolutely.
And then it's like, I'm gonna save up. Going out, just time and energy saving up for it. To go out, and then I still shit the bed sometimes.
Yeah,
I'm
I've
just
just
like,
been
I'm just
less
not feeling it.
spur of the moment these days. Like, when we did our Lagwagon show,
Oh,
or when we
God,
go
that
to
was so good.
shows, you kind of plan ahead.
Right.
These are going to be happening. I'm going to
Yeah.
be going on the 22nd to Testament and Creator and Possessed. That's at what Odeon or no, what's it called now?
Coors Event? Yeah.
But yeah, I'm stoked for that because
Sick.
that Creator, their German thrash band.
I've seen you wear some shirts.
Oh man, I'm just a huge fan. And then Testament's one of my favorite bands.
Also seen you wear the shirts.
And then,
That's how you know it's legit.
Possessed is it was Death and Possessed. They're Florida death metal bands. And they pretty much invented the genre of death metal, so it's pretty cool.
That's sick.
And again, talking about people experiencing disabilities and stuff. The singer is in a wheelchair and he performs, and he's just super badass to see him just commanding a crowd. And,
Yeah, it doesn't matter what
Nope,
situation you're
it
in,
does
man.
not
Just
matter.
get up there and do it. I am feeling a lot of remorse for not making out to see Belvedere. That album, it's the red cover. It's 'Twas Hot
Hell-
and
'Twas
"'Twas
Hell
Hell
Said
and
Former Child.
Thank you.
Yep.
This guy knows. And as I was going through a lot in my life, and that was one of the albums I listened to all the time. Like right when I was near the bottom, as far as rock bottoms go, like after getting fired and after, moving out of the home and leaving a family, and you're just like, man, what do you do? That album, I would listen to it over and over again. And I think that's why I'm feeling so much remorse for missing a show, because I almost felt like I owed it to them to thank them
because they
for
got
helping me
you,
get
they
through
got
that
you
shit.
through your
Yeah.
tough times.
And so it feels like double bad that I didn't get there. And I know I couldn't actually make it because I had to work, which is still a lazy excuse, because guess what? If you hear them and you really love them, then you know they're coming here, you should just go.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm sort of. Do you guys have any of those sort of remorseful misses when it comes to shows?
Got anything off the top of your head? I'd
You
said
go. He
in-
always needs time to think.
Yeah,
I always
I'd
throw it out. That's
said-
why I always go to you first.
I'd
I mean, I have
said
too many, I think. That's
in
the
the
problem.
past,
Well, I didn't go to
when we were talking, how I just saw that latest version of Pantera with
Yes.
the Metallica,
Oh,
and
yeah.
it was 2001, I believe, where they had came to Saskatoon. It was actually Pantera's sixth last show before they broke up. But I had
That close, eh?
I had a ticket to that show. I was planning on going to that show, and then I didn't end up going because at the time the girl that I was with or whatever, we wanted to do something else. Or I forget what it was, but it was like I had no reason to do it. I was like, I'll just see Pantera another time, and I never got to. And yeah, I've just
Dude.
I have thought about that show every day for the last 20 years.
I have a feeling that a lot of the, I don't want to say precipice for these misses involve a partner in some way, because that would just be wrong and rude. I do feel like they play a little bit of a role in, oh, really, you're going to go to that show instead of doing this? Okay. And then you just start to spite them. It's like, okay, well, guess what? No, I'm going to do this instead. I'm going to miss something that I want to see so bad just to show you how much I care.
And I was 19 at the time too, so I think I would have been more, assertive,
Yeah.
in today. Matt Cuthbertson today would have been more
It's a lot
assertive,
different.
but
Yeah. I look back
I
and
was
think
young
about
and youthful.
think about all the things that I missed because I knew that my partner would be angry or upset with me if I did them. And boy, oh boy, you want to talk about a big list of stuff that you could take back. That would be a lot of them. Just, you know what? Sometimes you have to care about yourself, man. Sometimes when you're spending 100% of your time trying to please these people, as in like a family, and zero time on pleasing yourself, all you do is just do this, and the disappointment from this, because you're never doing enough, it's never right, just keeps pushing you down until you don't even have any motivation to do anything.
And you're not being your authentic self.
You're not
kind
yourself.
of you're like a version of what you think people want.
Exactly. Oh,
But yeah,
it's like therapy right
yeah.
now, boys.
Oh,
Thank you.
totally.
Yeah. Well, I mean, kind of segueing into something else maybe, and I just had this thought the other day that it probably took me, like, I don't know, maybe I was having a conversation with Silas or something, and, about being what he wants to be when he grows up or whatever. And I was probably, I don't know, 40 when I realized who I actually am, and
I would say
like,
oh, yeah.
like way older than you would have
Yeah.
thought.
For
You,
me,
like-
it was definitely 40.
Yeah.
I 100% changed.
and kind of being like coming to peace with like, no, this is who I am, this is who I've kind of been searching for, and yeah, being at peace with it and actually acknowledging it. And I don't know, I mean, it's weird, like
That's
I
beautiful.
feel other people have,
There he is. He's goosing. You got him. You got him. You got a
I've kinda
gooser.
talked about this before, I think, how, I had buddies in high school, and they like at 16 they knew what they wanted to be
Yeah.
for the rest of their life when it came to a job or whatever,
Yeah.
right? And obviously that doesn't necessarily dictate who you are as a person, but it definitely plays a large role into, you know, who you will be, what the job
We all
you
need
will
to
have.
be bringing some
Right,
money.
exactly, you know?
Yeah.
And yeah, it was just the other day, I was like, damn, and I kind of thought at 30, I kind of knew who I was or whatever. And no, I think it was like just a couple years ago where it's like, oh, I think I actually have figured out, and not for anything except just my own peace of mind kind of thing, and to know that I'm actually, you know, comfortable with it.
Yeah.
And
It's
that's
so
the biggest part of it.
liberating when
Oh,
you get
totally.
that. Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah.
I sit here, boys, before you, telling you that until this whole dream became a reality, I was in that same spot.
Yeah.
You don't know who you are. Like, I thought I was just like a radio guy who had a family and was spending all of my time trying to make sure they had a better life than they did before.
Yep.
And then I realized no matter how hard I try, I always, I'm not going to say screw it up, but I always won't satisfy what's expected of me. And that sort of wore me down. And that's sort of what pushes you into that little sad hole because you feel like you're not good enough.
Yep.
And then to sit here now and look at this and to see, new guy just came in here the first time, Dragon number 2, Junior Dragon.
Mm-hmm.
Billy or Jimmy, we'll have to figure out which one. Double Dragon, by the way, one of the best video games of all time. See him come in here and to be wide-eyed and be like, this is crazy. And to be instantly welcomed by all of us like he's one of our own, because he's the brother of the dragon, who is one of our own. And I realized once, not even once, every time I see that happen, because it happens to every single person that walks in here, this is the person I am. Like, I am the person who gets so much joy from seeing other people happy and succeeding and chasing dreams, and that's all this place is. Like, anytime anyone comes here, they have a dream in mind, and our job is to get them to that point. And that's me.
And
like, that's me to 1,000%.
And the endless possibilities. Like, I always would say, you know, when I was doing interviews back in the day, like, my favorite thing about being in a band is you can look at your phone, and today it's like, hey, do you want to open up for this band's, you know, that's heroes of yours? Or, you know, you never knew what opportunity was coming. And even before the show, you're getting a text, and you never know what this next opportunity is going to be. So it's so exciting. And every time. And I'm still getting used to, like, riding the highs and the lows, like the lulls. Like, there's points where you'll be talking to people that have stuff planned and set up, and then it will fall through, and then you feel like the biggest loser in the world. Then the next week, you get someone in here who you never thought would be here, and they love what they're doing. All of a sudden, like, 5 new doors open, and then you're doing something like promoting 3 Hall and this Bloom Entertainment deal that's happening. And just to have that, every time you get one of those, it just fuels the drive, you know? And it's like, okay, I need to focus way more on these really good things, and they're happening way more frequent than the not so good things. So it just lets you know you're on the right path, and just to keep doing what you're doing. Because that was my other go-to for the interviews. It was like when people would say, like, about how do you continue to be in a band or whatever, and I would always say, forget about every failure, big or small, and really embrace any success, you know, how big or small it is. And if you have that attitude, it's a good way to go, because it's pretty easy to get into those downs, and and sometimes you'll achieve something really great, and then you feel like you need to be keeping, you know, that level of success or whatever, and then when you go down a step or whatever, it can be deflating.
Keeping a level head. I feel like that's very, very important when you're doing something that is susceptible to the ups and downs as much as this place can be. So just something to think about as we solve all of life's problems here on the Tuesday edition of your show, hanging out with the All Out of Angst podcast boys. We got Matt from all the bands and Uncle Mike from all the natural products. So you have been in hire mode, young man.
Yes.
And we want to make sure that we get you an incredible employee to join. Oh, you did it. You did. We were just talking about it. He is in higher mode. Sorry, Steve Winwood's Higher Love. I talk about it all the time. It's the one song that no one will ever hate. People may not love it, but they'll at least listen to it. No one will ever say, I hate that song. Side note. How's the search going over there at Uncle Mike's All Natural Products for that new blade?
Not too bad. I mean, the search is still on. Had a good interview yesterday with a young woman. I'm hoping she shoots me a message back, in the next couple days.
Does it feel like dating a little bit?
Yeah, kind of. I mean, I haven't
really
dated
hope she
in I don't know
texts.
how many years.
Yeah,
20,
good point.
20
None
years
of
or
us
whatever.
have,
But it's. I mean, the fact that she is a customer. So there was already kind of a rapport.
Nice.
Which is nice because it's, I mean, they support what I'm doing. They enjoy the products. And obviously, I've chatted with them in the past. So, but still on the lookout. You can't put all your eggs in one basket,
Very
even though I do feel she would be a good fit. So we'll just have to see how that plays out. And if you're looking for something,
There you go. That's
feel
what I was aiming
free
for.
to,
Let 'em know. Let 'em know.
Shoot me a message at mike@unclemikesnatural.com. Pick up the phone and give me a call at 306-381-SOAP, 7627. Or stop by the shop with your resume. And looking for
you
some
lonely?
part-time help in the shop. You'll be wrapping products.
going. Look at
You'll
this.
be filling
What a
orders. You'll
professional.
be running the retail. You'll be helping me with some production. You'll be doing some more mundane activities.
Any
like
trips out to the ranch
cleaning.
to collect ingredients?
Very well could be.
Oh, that's
it's not
fun.
out of the picture. I tell you, the possibilities with this position are endless. It will take you wherever you want to go. Oh boy,
That was a good commercial.
Yeah, thank you.
Wow, hey?
I felt
well
like
done.
a ringmaster or something
You were.
in a
You were
in a
running this very circus here.
Yeah.
I like how
very well
the
done.
character was building
I
itself.
could- I was
too,
just
where
confident
was
about it.
like
I would've kept
really,
going.
really believing
Give me
it.
this microphone. I'm gonna take this thing.
This is great.
No, I sometimes go on.
Another one for you. How is Penny?
Penny is doing well.
We have not had a Penny update.
No, she is getting more comfortable with the house and her surroundings. We've actually been waking up at like 6 o'clock every morning.
She's letting you sleep in a
and-
little bit.
Yeah,
That's nice.
and we go for. I've made these trails in the bush, so I just like walking them. But it's great when she comes along, and she was kind of hesitant, even a little at first on the trails. We have one cat that likes to assert dominance, and but I think that
Pay
relationship
the cat
is
toll.
getting better.
The cat toll.
Yes. Yeah. But no, it's good. She's
With the bark?
barking. She's barking. Yeah.
Hey, she's
it's
protecting this house.
Sometimes now it's too much. Maybe.
Hey,
but
Just
careful what you
died.
ask for.
I mean,
yeah.
there's a lot of shit potentially in the book. Is she barking at a neighbor dog? Is she
Yep.
barking at a moose? Is she barking at a deer? Is she barking at a cat?
I feel
That-
like you just wrote a children's book there. like,
What
Will
is she barking
bark?
at?
Yeah. Will she bark at this cat?
Will she bark at the moon?
There it is. Hey,
Bark
that's
at
a
the
song.
moon.
Dance, dance, dance. I can't play it. You can play it though. The role of the farm dog, though, man, it's so important. I always remember going out to our friends, the Buckshawans, out by Clavet. They'd always have a big old mean farm dog there. And the second the dog saw that it was you, the cutest, happiest, like just the best, wrestle around with them. But if you're like a stranger, they make sure like it's, and they keep all the pests out and all, like protect. They literally protect that
Totally,
place.
and
man.
that's
It's very cool.
that's part of what I wanted. I mean, she doesn't, she's still just like I said, figuring out her bark and what to bark at and who to bark
Still a puppy.
at, and
Still pupping it up.
Yep.
So that's very cool. I was looking, I'm starting to think about getting Maggie a running mate here at some point. I want to get a rescue puppy of some sort, and I made the mistake of looking the other day.
Yes.
So hard. So hard to look at those puppy eyes and just and just not
don't worry,
bring them
you'll
all
be
in.
fine on your own. Don't
Yeah,
worry.
You'll be fine.
Yeah.
Someone great will find you. I can tell your soul is beautiful. But I know like Maggie's only got so much time on this earth to teach a younger dog the ways of this studio and this little ski chalet that we call home here. And I want to pull the trigger so badly, but it took me 2 years. 2 years. Did I ever tell you guys the story of Maggie? No. Oh, buckle up. This is a great one. Okay. So basically 2 years almost to the day when I got her, I was infatuated with basset hounds. I wanted a basset hound with the big floppy ears to come and hang out and live with my roommates and I over at 4th Street. And so I still get the newsletter from the Basset Hound Society, which is based out of Calgary. I still get the emails of all these different dogs that are, up for adoption, this and that. And I was just set on it, but I had to wait for one to, pick you type of thing.
Yeah.
So months go by, months and months, and I'm still searching. I'm still in Basset Hound mode. Then I get called in to do a remote over at a car dealership in town for the old workplace. And I got there with about 10 minutes to go before the cut-ins were ready. And the manager of the place made the mistake of telling me there was a puppy adoption party out in the back parking lot. And literally the second those words finished, there was just a smoke in the shape of me as I was gone. Just gone, out there. And I walk out and there's 15 beautiful puppies. There's older dogs and all these different guys and gals. And I just walk in and it's just, I'm surrounded by so much happiness. And like, this is my happy place. Oh, I love dogs so much. And then hopping on over comes this old girl. And it's like from the movies. When they say the dog chooses you, this dog went right up to me, smiled. Like we all know the smile now. That's all she does is smile. Laid down right on top, not in front of, on top of my feet. And just looked up and started smiling and then panting. And I looked at the dude and I was like, you got papers for this one? He's like, oh, yeah, okay. I'm like, no, I'm serious. I'm taking this dog. He's like, oh, okay. So he goes back and gets some papers. And I take her. He's like, take her for a little walk around and see how she reacts. I'm like, okay. So I take her for a walk, and she's just going by the different puppies, giving them all kisses and nuzzling. And then there was this like 16-year-old Chihuahua sitting on this person's lap, and it was full of dementia. Like one eye was up here, one eye was down here. It was on his last legs. And Maggie doing her thing, she walks over and goes right up to this dementia dog, gives a big kiss, and the dog just snaps. I saw the old dog, like the teeth went right into Maggie's mouth. So she was trying to kiss, and it was like, oh. And she didn't even yelp. She just went, boom, jumped back, looked up at me, smiled, and then just kept going. And I was like, could you be any more perfect? And then the cherry on top, as I'm getting ready to, already late to go do my cut-in, which is another story, the dude comes over. It's like, okay, just so you know, like since she only has 3 legs, she can't go for many walks, and you sort of have to be very lazy with her. I'm like, dude, you already sold me, man. Like, you don't have to say anything else. Like, could this get any better? And then sure enough, a day later, we went out and we got her, and lives changed. Not just my life, but everyone. Whoever gets to know Maggie, your life gets better. She just brings all of the positivity with none of the negative stuff. And everything changed that day. And instantly, like, she just fit right in at the house, and then she fit right in at the radio station. And like, she got Employee of the Week over there. I spent 21 years working at the other place. I got 3 Employee of the Weeks, and she was around for 4 or 5, and she got 1.
I'm not
Isn't that crazy?
When I usually roll up here at whatever 2:30 before, and she's in the back, that's like a big part of it for me. Like the little greeting that I always
I
get.
call it the welcoming
it's-
committee. That's what I tell anyone new. Like Maggie from Elmwood just texted saying, do I still have to go through the house to get to the studio? It's like, actually, no. You can go through the side gate now, and our greeter, Maggie, will be there, and she'll walk you to the door.
Yeah.
And that's literally what she does. And it's just so cool that we have these animals in our lives that can change our lives. See, there's little Maggie. Oh, my goodness. Speaking of her, look at this. This is what I'm talking about. Only the Maggie Cam, powered by Pet Planet on Ace for your pet's natural grocer, can capture the cuteness. And I always call her a cute Nami. She's like a tsunami of cuteness, always just taking over anywhere and everything all the time. And this is what I deal with. Like, how do you not just get down there and just nuzzle with her until you're like all out of love?
Tell me, damn it. I don't know.
I think handcuffs. We have to cuff ourselves in. And she's just always like that. And whenever she's around other dogs, she's always so happy. And it's so cool that we can go about our days and have these incredible little angels with us and making everything better, man.
Well, again, like a blessing of this whole place is having a place where you can have your best friend hanging out with you all day.
It's so
like,
cool.
I love all animals, but
Yes.
Me and Aaron, our cat,
You're the cat fam.
we love.
Shout them out.
We got Bootsy, we got Winksy, and we got Baby Carl or Bubbins, depending. And they're
Those are
great.
the real names.
Yeah, Carl with a K, of course.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hey, Carl, what's up? Remember that? Billy Madison.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And this shirt, I got it from Carl.
There it is.
But the funny thing is when we adopted Carl, like I always give for some reason when I go to Starbucks and they ask for my name, I give a pseudonym or some sort of fake name. And for like a couple years straight, I was saying Carl, and I would always say Carl with a K. And like,
Yes.
so that was my thing. And then when we adopted Carl, like that was his actual name, was Carl with a K.
See,
We're-
a sign meant to
and we're
be.
like, yeah, we need
That's it.
we need this.
Yeah.
But yeah, if I could spend my work days with my cats, that would augment my life considerably.
There's just the happiness levels, just to always have her around. Like back at my old place, she was so happy. She was an outside dog. She was outside for like damn near 18 hours a day. She had her big dog run, and she was so happy just to be there. And I go to work, and I come home, and then eventually she'd come inside and we'd hang out. But now, it's like 24/7 with her and I feel like I'm making up for a lot of lost time, which makes me feel good. And just to have that sort of bond, now I think we're ready for Megan to train her successor and have a little buddy running around. So I don't know how that's going to play out, but just something we're thinking about.
And everyone will get to be part of the journey, which is exciting.
This is a family, and make no mistake, this family loves to be happy, and that's what we do. Like it's so hard to be upset in this studio. That's one of the things I've learned. Like even when like terrible shit happens, it's still like, yeah, but look around. Look what we're doing,
You are a product of who you hang out with.
That's it.
That is the big thing.
And we talk about this crew all the time, how we're all sort of outcasts and people that, haven't been fully accepted, not even fully accepted, but haven't been like front and center, I guess you could say, of be it friend groups or, work groups or anything. It's just the term outcast works so good because we all have that sort of, you want to be a part of something. Everyone wants to be a part of something, and a lot of times you don't really find that. And then every single person here finds that instantly. And that's one of the proudest things for me from getting this started, is just to see how everyone is so comfortable here,
And
no matter
for
what
such
who
a
it is.
diverse group of
That's
people, too.
what-
That's
that's what
the
I
real
mean.
crazy thing.
Yep.
Yeah, dude. And like the age too. Like we got 18 and 19-year-old kids running this place,
I know, like,
which is crazy.
Like we're talking about referencing Paperboy.
Yeah.
And
It's
you,
like,
you get,
what the heck is
I've
Paperboy?
never heard of that.
That was Jimmy from Double Dragon that said that one. It's very cool just to have all of this. So thank you to you guys again for making it happen. And it's like old friends, and then we got the young guys, and then we got the ladies. Like it's such a dynamic group with everyone basically coming from totally different backgrounds, yet meeting here and all being on the same level.
Yeah, and one kind of vision of
That's
this cool place.
Like Uncle Brando is a perfect example. Like right before we started, I say this all the time. I didn't know anybody who made any money from YouTube, which is understandable because it's so hard to do. And Uncle Brando was the first guy that I knew that was like making enough money to live just by doing the Commander Cookout podcast.
That's so cool.
And so him and I, we are so the same. And that's sort of the joke we have with Network Ryan. He said, like, the best part of moving in here is like all this awesome stuff and everything. The worst part is he now has two Brandos to deal with instead of just one, because Brando and I are so similar. And it's all the way down to the point where I was the one that trained Brando when he was at the old place. So we've been connected since that. And so I talked to him and I said, dude, like, this is what I want to do. How can we do it? And then he said, well, Network Ryan's the guy to talk to. And I knew right away that he was going to be the yin to the yang.
Right.
So I was like, well, I hope this works out. And then Network Ryan comes in, totally different than anyone else here by far. Anyone. He's so motivated by work, and he's an ideas guy, whereas Uncle Brandon and I are the same. We're like very lackadaisical. Like, we'll do stuff, but it's like, oh, and just to know he's coming in here and knowing he has to deal with all that, but still wants to be here and still can sort of carry that role. It's so valuable.
How is producer Ryan doing?
He's okay. I think he said he's getting about 0.5% better every day. And he's getting set to go to Command Fest. Look at that, in Toronto, which is a huge
wow.
Commander Cookout thing. That's September 26th, 29th. So he will be there with his crutches. But he's finally starting to get over that hill of like all the stuff that you can't do and all the stuff that comes with not being mobile in any way.
I kind of imagine he's one of those guys, like he seems
He's going
pretty
crazy.
busy,
He's
so
going crazy.
it would be tough
Yeah,
to
he needs
not do
to
that.
be hands-on all the time. And that's what I mean by he's the most different when it comes to the people here, because he's like the one, and I say he's like the program director. He's the one who tells people, like, this is how stuff has to be. This is how we do it. And I told him numerous times, I said, thank goodness you're like a program director, because if we just had yes people here, nothing would get done.
Right.
And so I tell all the boys, like anytime anyone disagrees with anything I say or anything anyone else says, I always say thank you. Like, we don't need everyone just, hey, that's a great idea. Hey, that's a great idea. That's a great idea. Nothing gets done like that. So to have the people that have the knowledge to know the importance of saying that's dumb or saying that's stupid, don't do that, so valuable. And to be able to do it with someone you still love so much, even better.
Yeah, people, because like having an opinion can get confused with like conflict or this or that, and like I'm a people pleaser. Like I would prefer to just always be on good terms with everyone. So
me
sometimes
too.
it's hard to
Absolutely.
assert your opinion, but you need to.
It's sort
I've
of
learned
something
this.
that we have to do, yes. As we get set to call it a day. Are we ready in there, fellas, for little Frankie's Fingers? I'm seeing some thumbs up. All right. There it is. We are now playing, you guys. Oh, what a great show. Absolutely incredible. To our producers, LB in there today, along with Jimmy from Double Dragon. Oh, boy. Thank you so much for getting us up and on the air. As well to all of our incredible sponsors. Aquaman Limited, again, they got everything going on over there, man. They got the underwater drone inspections, water monitoring and sampling, and so much more. Our friends at Property Guys, check them out. Really good people doing great, great things. Thanks to Dax and the team over there. Nickel Plumbing, you know and you love. I was talking to my girl Kim over there today. She's going to come by for a visit on Thursday, which is going to be very, very fun. New shows today. Brand new show of The Viewing Room. You can check out, hosted by LB and Billy from the Double Dragon team, a.k.a. Dragon. I guess we call him Dragon Senior now. We'll have to figure that one out. Thank you to our boy Kinger and our boy Saul coming in for Bloom Entertainment, getting you ready for the big kickoff show this Friday over at 3 Hall. It's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to have the band in that will be performing at said show tomorrow, which will be very fun. Dragon actually was here today too, so a big thank you to him for stopping by. To these two jabronis right here. The reason Tuesdays are fun again. Uncle Mike, thank you. Not just for you being you, but your all-natural products and everything else. You are amazing. I love the Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas sunglasses.
Yeah. I don't know
Beautiful.
if this is like an Elton John or...
Oh, maybe, yeah. Either way, you're nailing it.
Hunter S. Thompson.
I think a good mix of both is what it would be. To Matt from all the bands, you are just absolutely nailing it. Every time, I don't know if you noticed, but every time we do this, Matt from all the bands always shows up with something very, very special. I think this one's right up there with the hot dog hands, you know? Just crushing it. So thank you for all that you do, my sweet, beautiful prince. Hey, there it is, Commander Cookup Podcast. Check that one out as well. And Bamford & Co. Podcast, new edition tomorrow, as they drop every Wednesday, so look very forward to that. And do not forget, every Thursday, the All at Angst Podcast. These two guys and yours truly doing the audio-only thing, which is very, very fun. Please remember, karma is so very real. Do good things and they'll start happening to you, all right? Have a great night. We'll see you tomorrow.